it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, perfectly.
Okay, thank you, Pankaj, for introduction. It's my privilege, and I love to give such kind of talk, especially in any polytechnic, because I am passed out from polytechnic, government polytechnic Kangra. So this is a very privilege, and I am honored, invited, and you can invite me anytime for any such kind of academic activities. So, without wasting any time, I'm going to start. So, today I'm going to give you insight into Internet of Things because I'm doing a lot of work in Internet of Things. More than 10 to 15 students are working with me, PhD and master's student, in this topic, Internet of Things. Whether slides are moving,
Yes, sir.
I am on second slide agenda.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So during this presentation or during this talk, I'm going to give you insight into what various industrial revolutions, what exactly that we are moving toward the society 5.0, and the various skills which is needed in next decade, especially of computer science. And then we will going to discuss that is Internet of Things. What exactly Internet of Things is? Its architecture, various protocol suites, applications, and major challenges that the IoT is facing. And also, if we have the time, then we can also discuss the machine learning and IoT and various framework of IoT. Before starting exactly the IoT, I just going to give you little bit insight into various industrial revolution. First revolution, it started in early 17th century. At that time, mechanization, steam power, water power, that started. Then steam engine and that comes into play. In the second industrial revolution, we call it Industry 2.0. Industry 1.0, then Industry 2.0. That was the era of when mass production or assembly line and electricity generation started. That was 18th century, middle. Then the Industry 3.0 or third generation, which started in 19th century, when computer and automation comes into play. That means computer and then basically that transistor and that small scale integration SSI at that comes into play. That is the 19th century. And presently we are living in the Industry 4.0 or fourth generation, where we are going to automate and using cyber physical systems, where information technology and operational technology are working together. This is the era of Industry 4.0, and we are marching toward the digital society, or we can say the society 5.0. What exactly the society 5.0 will be? It will be use of robotics. That means various surgeries, various things will be done through the robot, and use of machine learning, deep learning, especially various AI techniques, and manipulation and analytics of big data. Big data means it will be video data, audio data, huge amount of data. And most important thing in society 5.0, which will play the most important role, that will be Internet of Things. Because Internet of Things is a network of various intelligent things, and those things are going to gather the data. Some sensors, it may be some sensors, those sensors are generating the data. That data will be big data, and by utilizing various types of artificial intelligence technique, we can do lot of things, and ultimately we will move toward the society 5.0. So what will be the changes in society 5.0? Said that I just want to explain to you. Here is the roadmap, that is how we move toward the society 5.0 from our society 1.0, that is simply the hunter gatherer society, you can see over here. Then when that human being started growing the various crops, and then it is society 2.0, we call it the agrarian society. Then in society 3.0, when that industrial revolution started in early 17th century, so that we call it society 3.0. And the WWW and information technology in the that mid of the 19th century, so that was the society 4.0. Now today I'm going to talk that is society 5.0. One of the component of that society 5.0 is Internet of Things, that I want to elaborate you in detail. Here you can see IoT, big data, AI. Okay, so how society 5.0 is helpful to make the human life better? So in many sense, like one of the healthcare application you can see, where earlier or at present it is like if we have some problem, so we move to the hospital and get checkup done. Okay, but in society 5.0 you can see we can get any advice online, like your telemedicine project, which has been started by the that CDEC Mohali, one of the partner of that telemedicine, that uh, in that telemedicine. So that means the doctor sitting at Japan may also do surgery, and this also become possible just the inaugural of that 5G technology by Honorable Prime Minister on 1st October. It becomes very much possible because in 5G technology, latency is negligible and data rate becomes very high. So it is quite possible that various healthcare things like surgery and all may be done in this society 5.0 in the remote fashion. So this is one of the that application or change that society 5.0 will make. Another thing, that is mobility. You can see, suppose we want to purchase something. So what we do? By using any vehicle, we move to that any shop, or suppose you want to buy the grocery, so you move to the grocery shop, you buy that grocery. But this is already started in US. Amazon now delivering the order through drone. So you can see in the society 5.0, that means drone, just you have to place the order, that drone that they will pack, that Amazon will pack the order, and they will drone, they will uh, uh, deliver your order at your place. And again, the Google, that's a automatic car. which is already started in case of US. So that is also possible in India because now 5G technology has been started, and within a 2 or 3 years, once the infrastructure is up to the level, will be possible. Again, this is very important change in society 5.0. Financials. Earlier, our honorable Prime Minister made that everything, there will be no cash, cashless. But now that cash, it is not cashless. Even we don't have to visit the bank. Cryptocurrency. You may be hearing that Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these things have now started in India. A lot of businesses happening in India of that uh, cryptocurrency. So this will be the reality. I think within the next decade, that is 10 years or 5 years, so we don't have to visit, so there will not be any customer in the bank. Okay, there will be no cash, only cryptocurrency. So this will be reality. This is not a that imagination. This will be reality within 5 years or within 10 years. So that is the change. So all these things that I mentioned here, so what are the driver for these? All these driver for all these are artificial intelligence. We call the various techniques like machine learning and deep learning techniques. Then data, data science analytics, or we call the very huge amount of data, which is video and audio data. We call it big data, and various types of analytics that we have to do. And computing of data will not be only at the data center end, or you can say the cloud computing only. That computing will not be at the cloud or the data center end. It may be at the fog level, that is middle layer, or maybe at the edge, that means within the device. Then another skill, that mobile app development. Nowadays everyone is developing the mobile app, so it becomes very easy to that develop a mobile app. And robotics is one of the things. Now most important things of all these to go toward the society 5.0, that is internet of things. I tell you, if you need a job in computer science, so you have to master one of these things. Either you become expert in AI, that means machine learning or deep learning, or becomes expert in data analytics, big data analytics, or you know about the cloud computing, cloud and that fog and edge, or you are efficient of developing various types of mobile apps or robotics, or you are expert in internet of things. So out of these all, internet of things are very important. Why it is very important? Because internet of things are used to generate the data. Once we have data, then we can apply machine learning and deep learning. We can apply various type of data analytics application. We can use that data for various prediction analysis, okay, for any actuation. So all this, and that's why that our internet of things is very important. I must tell you, I'm not covering all these things, so I I'm directly moving toward the internet of things. So I just want to explain you the internet of things. Internet of things is It is a network of intelligent devices with following things. Those devices will have sensors, sensor for sensing the data. Those things will have memory to store little bit of data, will not be very huge memory. Those device will have processor. That processor will not be like computer, it will be simply microcontroller 8051, 8052. Those devices will have antenna for transmitting the data from one device to another device. All these, the network of all these intelligent device. Why I am calling intelligent? Because it is connected with the internet, and it has all the capability of storing data, transferring data, processing data. Okay, but it is the constrained nature. It is not of that infinite processing, infinite storage, infinite that transmitting power. So it is simply that is very constrained in nature, means very few the kilobyte of memory, processor speed is very less, antenna power is very less again, so it cannot transmit very long distance. And also there is a battery, that power is needed, otherwise that node will die. So we define that internet of things, a platform that connect everyday things embedded with the electronic software and sensor to the internet, enabling them to collect and exchange data in order to build better system. So we can see that key objective of IoT is to enable user to uniquely identify, signify, access, control things at any time, anywhere by the internet. So that I just want to give you the example of one, that is in case of your smart home. Suppose you have smart refrigerator which is connected through the internet, which has some that camera inside. It is going to that check whether you have milk. If there is no milk, then it will automatically order the milk. Suppose you also store inside the refrigerator some butter, so if butter is low, so it will automatically order that butter. So everything under that is that it will identify, then signify, access, and control everything. Okay, so that is the Internet of Things. Now, application is everywhere. You can see over here the trends or impact of IoT, or you can say the number of things or devices. You can see the Internet of Things. Things are over here, that will be intelligent devices. So you can see how rapidly or exponentially the number of devices increased. In 1875, no IoT devices, and in you can see in case of your the 1975, then 2000, and 2025, it is now it is predicted in 2025 it will be more than 50 billions of devices. So you can imagine if it is more than 50 billions of devices, IoT devices, so we have to manage them, data will be exchanged between them. So how much workforce we needed? That's why the computer science student who are expert in IoT technologies, so their future is very secure for next decade or 2 decades. You can see the way the internet has reformed the world. We can hardly that envisage our lives without it. So that is very important. Nowadays, what happens? You can live if you don't have food, but if the data is not available in your that mobile internet connection, then it is very difficult for a person. Again, this pandemic made us very that habitual of using more internet. So that means we cannot imagine without the internet, even we can remain with empty stomach, but we cannot live without internet. So you can see that we are living in the era of various objects across the globe are connected to the internet. Yes, everything is connected through the internet. Now the internet of thing is simply the devices which senses something, which means some sensors are there and transfer that information to some actuator or some human being. So some action will be taken accordingly. So the journey of object to smart object is based on that is of the internet with that emanated technology like cloud computing, embedded sensor. Yes, this is very important. Otherwise, first we call the object like simply like a refrigerator. Refrigerator is simple object. How it becomes smart refrigerator? Once we have done some embedded sensor in between, some processing power is there, some memory is there, okay, some RFID. So all these things are there, then it becomes smart object. So if we talk about the things, it will be smart things. It will be smart objects. If we talk about Internet of Things, that means those smart things are connected through the internet and sharing the data to each other become the Internet of Things. So that is very important. I must mention over here impact of the IoT services. IoT services have major impact on the lives of people. That means the people-centric solution like IoT assistant allow the disabled people to enjoy independence and participation in their social life. This is very important thing. Nowadays, we have made or some that IoT enabled solution for many disabled like that uh, deaf persons or some the disability of any of the part of the body. So by using the IoT, so it is very much possible to live. They can live their life in a very good manner. Like IoT solution assist in home rehabilitation for physical therapy. Yes, there are so many things for rehabilitation, which is using various types of sensors and actuators, which is IoT enabled. And for you may be aware of the autism, which is now prevalent in case of India in case of children. So we have that autism glass, which is also the IoT enabled. So that is very good for our that how it will impact our life. And one of the example of that that diabetic patient, we have IoT enabled kit where it is continuously it is that bear by the any person, and then continuously the sugar level is checked and accordingly insulin is injected. Again, IoT solution aids in minimizing that is hazards. It is very important, like in case of coal mines. In coal mines, we can. It is very dangerous to go inside those coal mines. And you may be heard in the past that so many persons or that there is a loss of human being in those coal mines. Nowadays we have made IoT enabled some devices which may be inserted into that mines, and then they will give you clear picture of inside, and then ultimately we may save the lives of human beings. There are so many types of proximity sensors. Again, the several IoT sensors like smoke, toxic gases, temperature, all these IoT-enabled sensors are used to that save us from the environmental disasters. Again, like you have already heard of that Bhopal gas plant. So this was at that time there were no such type of technology which may that sense the leakage of gas. Nowadays we have very good IoT-enabled sensor which will generate the signal in the real time, and we can detect any leakage of gas quickly and then take suitable measures for this. So that is very important, that impact of IoT services in human lives. So very, it is life-threatening things which may be saved by using the various types of IoT things. Now, important thing over here is IoT services and security plus. That is, IoT still in the world, not in India, it is not standardized. Lot of company are producing, manufacturing lot of devices. It is not standardized one. They are using different communication system. They are using different that message sharing system. That means various type of security flaws and threats are there. Generally, manufacturer do not consider the security concerns while those devices are manufactured. At this time, for IoT, suppose Cisco mostly that manufacture various IoT devices, but they do not. During their manufacturing process, the consideration of security is not there. So you can see that 70% of internet connected devices are vulnerable to cyber threats. This is very big problem. Cyber security is big problem. In the next decade, there will not be any war. There will be only cyber war between various countries. So our generation will see that it is going on at present also, but in next decade, 10 years or after 10 years, it will be only cyber war, no physical war. If we have 70% of all those connected devices very much vulnerable for the adversaries, for the thieves, then it is cause of concern. So that means the one of the studies in 2020 that 25% of industrial attack will be due to the compromised IoT device. That means IoT devices compromise their security and then some industrial attack or cyber attack happened. One of the example, this is that Mirai attack. This is the botnet. Botnet has been created, and this attack happened through the video camera, and a lot of money wasted in this particular attack. Again, that Persirai, Biker bot. Again, one of that privacy also hindered in IoT-based baby monitor. The toy are played with the hackers to get sensitive information. Again, easy reprogramming of IoT device firmware is add-on for the adversary. That means I told you the manufacturer do not consider the security as a major concern for IoT device. Now you see 50 billions of devices are at present in the market. And there is a small chip. Under that chip, there will be a microcontroller, there will be a memory, there will be a antenna and battery. Now that firmware inside that memory will be there, and that firmware is very much easy to change by the adversaries, or you can see the thieves. So that means IoT could be severe threat to flesh and blood. That is, the US Food and Drug Administration also confirmed the risk allied with the reconfiguration of implantable devices and their unauthorized access. That means we implant that like our diabetic checker, that diabetic checker, which is implanted with the human body. If the firmware of that particular device has been changed, so you can imagine you will raise the sugar level, or you will that decrease or raise the sugar level, or your that hypertension for that blood pressure level. So ultimately it will be threat for human life. So that is raises the alarm to takes security and privacy issue as a serious matter of concern if we need sustainable IoT. Sustainable means which will go for decade to decade. So this is very important. Sustainable and secure IoT. Another thing that I also mentioned, that energy requirement of IoT device and their communication play a crucial role leading to the sustainable IoT, because IoT devices are small sensors which cannot be generally those IoT sensors or IoT devices are not connected through the electricity connection, or you can say the power. So it takes power from the battery. So that means battery is within the sensor node. So that means you already know that battery will decay, then node will die ultimately. So that is another concern, that if we have to make it sustainable and secure, so battery, that a lot of that research is going on the battery. Digital environment and smart devices have increased energy consumption in alarming level. Renewable sources, like we are now putting within the node that solar battery, solar cell, which is renewable. That is again very important thing for sustainable IoT. Now, like I have already mentioned, all these things, industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0, which we have. Again, I mentioned the estimation of connected devices and the population. So you can see how our population is going to be flattened now. At present, in 2020, it is in the bird population is about how much it is? It is about more than 70. But the how connected devices rapidly growing, it is now crossing the bird population. So here, because you are diploma student, you should know the very basic. I'm not going in detail. How this IoT started, the term was formulated message queuing telemetry transport. This is the one of the protocol. Generally in IoT, we use two protocol, MQTT and COAP. So in 1999, this protocol was first developed, which generally used in IoT. And in 2000, the first IoT-enabled refrigerator publicized by LG Electronics. In 2001, Industry University Corporation Research Center was established by the USA. National Science Foundation, NSF is the USA's body. So for predicting the analytic technologies, they uh, established this in 2001. Near field communication was announced to develop a cooperation with Sony and Philips. These are two companies. They found one of the near field communication in 2002. And Guardian is one of the very big magazine. So IoT was cited in the Guardian, large scale deployment of RFID in 2003. And then AT&T is big company. Another carrier offered the Wi-Fi hotspot in 2004. And then again, the first report on IoT was published by the in the UN. Okay, that is 2005. Tree Bluetooth, that smart technology was introduced by IoT. This was firstly Bluetooth was introduced by Nokia in 2006. At that time, there were a Nokia phone. I was having that phone, Nokia 1100. And European research that cluster of IoT and European Union based organization founded the wireless heart. This is one of the protocol which was approved by that is IETF 6 low pan and that request for communication 4944, which was issued in the 2007. Then for transferring the data between the connected devices, role group or the IEEE 802.15.4e group were formed in 2008. And Google Apps, the first browser-based cloud application, was launched by the Google in 2009. That all is the development of IoT. Then Timed Monitoring System IEEE 2010. Global Standard Initiative was created for IoT is 2011. And IoT becomes very famous once in 2012 Internet Protocol version 6 launched. Earlier, the Internet Protocol version IPv4, which is still we use IPv4 as well, but the number of devices connected through the IPv4 was less. That's why IPv6 were launched in 2012. Zigbee is another standard for the mesh protocol, which was introduced in 2013. One incubation council of IoT was made in 2014. Security Foundation made in 2015. Then now the security attacks going to be happen after 2016 attack first, botnet attack. Amazon Echo was developed. IoT term database was made on 2017. Now Microsoft announced Azure Sphere, Azure Digital Twin. Government of California passed the IoT cyber security law, and the first 5G network got turned on in 2018, Silicon Valley, USA. And now, after 2019, in India, we are now just that the Honorable Prime Minister just introduced that 5G on 1st October, but in Europe and America, so that the wide deployment of various IoT devices has started from 2018 onward. So if we see the application of IoT, it is everywhere. Smart grid is for like your power distribution. Powers are generated in for example, a hydroelectric power plant. They generate the power, then that power is to be transmitted, and then ultimately it is to be distributed to the household or that factory or anywhere. So smart grid is very much controlled by IoT devices. Smart home. So this is the basic applications in smart home. In my lab also, we have established here one smart home, that we have that lock, which is IoT based. We have all the bulbs, light bulbs, that is again smart. We have various devices over here, all are IoT devices, refrigerator, okay, oven. Then again, another smart transport is another application, big application of IoT. Nowadays, in India, it will also become the the usual thing. As the 5G is, 5G will be available within 2 or 3 years to everyone. Then smart transport will be IoT enabled. Smart city nowadays, lot of things like in Dharamshala and in Shimla or in our Jammu city, all are going to become a smart city. Smart city means various sensors or camera has been that been deployed and data has been generated accordingly. That various things are that various actions are taken. So various things are smart now. Smart healthcare, I told you, like that one of the example of diabetes monitor. So those so many things, implant sensors are there, which is implanted within the body. Smart manufacturing is a big application. Nowadays, we have smart manufacturing, which is enabled by IoT, smart irrigation. That means, like in case of the apple orchard, the drip irrigation in apple orchard is has been made the smart by using the various types of sensors. So we have a lot of applications. Now, with these applications, there are a lot of challenges. I have mentioned few challenges over here, like scale. Scale means it is going to become double by a week. Weekly number of devices going to be doubled. Okay, within a year it becomes 1,000 times. So that means whatever standard we are making, it should stand with the scale. Security is big challenge. So many companies are manufacturing various IoT devices. They have their own standard. Data is going to be transferred by their own proprietary protocol. So manufacturers are not making the security concern one of the most important concern while manufacturing these type of devices. Privacy, big issue. I may mention the privacy issue over here. Suppose you have bought one microwave oven, it is IoT enabled. So that IoT enabled microwave oven may send your data when you prepare food. That means you are inside your home. You are not preparing any food in the oven. That means you are outside the home. So everything, all data may be transferred to the manufacturer, and manufacturer may misuse your data. Big data and data analytics, that massive amount of data arriving from the various sources in various forms. This is very important thing. The data going to be generated by the various types of IoT sensors you have deployed at various location. Continuous data is going to be generated. That data may be terabytes of data. I just mentioned the one of the that fighter plant, that plane we have, Rafale. In Rafale, there is a lakhs of sensors, and within a minute they are going to generate terabytes of data. So you can imagine that how much massive data IoT is going to generate. And big issue is interoperability. That means I told you there are lot of devices manufactured by a lot of companies, and how we can make them interoperable. Interoperable means data sent by one device is understandable to another device, because there is no concrete standard for transferring the data. That means the data packets, preamble, payload, that is not standardized one. So in interoperability is another big issue. Here I just want to mention the simplified IoT architecture. Generally in computer network, so this is IoT network. Computer network, we divide the various functionality in 7 layers. OSI, reference model, you already know. Similarly, that IoT network is divided into 3 layers, but in 2 stack. One is functional stack, one is computational stack, compute stack. data management stack. Core IoT functional stack, that is, it is divided into three layers. First layer is we call it perception layer, where there is a thing, sensor and actuator. And middle layer is communication network layer, where data is routed, data routing happens. MAC and all is over here. Then the top layer, we call it the application layer, so where we use various types of API. And as per the functional stack, we have how data is manipulated, managed. So if it is perception layer, while the sensors and actuator are placed, that means edge computing. That means if data is processed at the sensor node, so we call it edge, processing of data as the edge. If the data processing is happened at the network layer, where various types of routers, switches, all are placed, we call it the fog layer, that is in between layer. If data is sent to data center or cloud, so we call it the cloud computing. That means big data or huge amount of data. Because if very small amount of data is there, then we can do the processing at the edge. If little bit of larger data, but not very large, then we can do the processing at the fog layer. If it is very huge amount of data, so then it is to be sent to the data center or the cloud. So you can see in functional stack and compute stack that security is required everywhere. So that means vertically you can see the security requirement is at perception layer, communication network layer, or application layer. That means we need to secure the data at edge, we need to secure the data at fog layer, or we need to secure the data at cloud layer. That is very important. So here I am mentioning the various protocol suite of IoT on the basis of various layers. At perception layer, that is here we place our devices. So protocol we use IEEE 15.4 or we use Wi-Fi or 4E. At our that network layer, we use RPL or rule protocol, which is used to that route the data routing algorithm RPL. And application layer, we have two COAP or Common Application Protocol or MQTT that I just mentioned in previous slide. But over here, because we need to adopt the Internet Protocol version 4 with the 6, so then we need one of the adoption layer over here, so that we call 6 loop APN. That adoption layer is needed. So that means if we are reading regarding the IoT, so we need to know the application layer protocol, which is two protocol, COAP or MQTT. And network layer protocol, role and RPL. Rest all protocol is also used for data routing. And then perception layer protocol, we should know the IEEE 15.4 standard or Wi-Fi. And one of the adaptation layer, that is between the layer, which is used for transferring the data of IBP4 to IBP6 or IBP6 to IBP4. 6 loop N is for that purpose. There are various open source tools for IoT Mode, Eclipse, Raspberry Pi, Arduino. You may be heard of Arduino and Raspberry Pi is two which is generally in the market. So we have also specialized BeagleBoard, Kentucky, Device Hive. Okay, so we have various things over here. We have various data sets which are openly available. On those data set, we can do simulations like CRAD, linked sense data, Japan traffic flow, NP Lab, UCL machine learning repository, Intel lab repositories. So these are various types of data sets. We have also that in case of that IES octave, we have mentioned over here what will be the in case of IoT. To make it more secure, so we need what integrity, availability, trustworthiness, non-reportation, affordability, privacy, audibility, and confidentiality. These are the requirement which is needed everywhere. I mentioned over here various types of threat on the basis of all three layer: perception layer, network layer, and application layer. We have only three layers in IoT architecture. Denial of service attack is everywhere present. DOS. Jamming will be only in case of perception layer. Radio interference, that will be in case of where devices are. Eavesdropping will be in network layer and perception layer. Vision attack will be in case of our that perception layer. Traffic monitoring, network and perception layer is used. Exhaustion attack will be only in perception layer, but that during the data routing, we may be various types of attack like selective forwarding, Sybil attack, eavesdropping, spoofing, whole attack, traffic analysis. All these will be while data is routed through the routers, switches, and few types of threats which is available in the application layer. That is like malicious node, integrity, and hijacking. All these are the attacks. There are so many types of vulnerabilities. I am not going into detail. I am concluding now because the lecture more than an hour will not be very much that appreciated by the student. So I am concluding over here. So uh, how I am going to conclude? I am sure that you may be able to understand what is the impact, what are the various challenges, and how IoT architecture is, various layers, and very big concern, that is security concern. Sometime later, we can also uh, discuss and give lecture. So now I'm that stopping my lecture over here, and you can ask. So there is a discussion session, so you can ask any question, please. Pankaj, over to you.
Yes, sir. So this must be sufficient for all of us. And let me ask students if they have any question or not.
Yes, everyone sitting over here. So I love to answer your question, please.
Any question, students, regarding your projects in IoT? Actually, sir, fifth semester IoT तो अभी IoT पढ़ रहे हैं, but
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
sixth semester computer they are not aware of even the word of IoT. So maybe next semester we will call you and we will
कोई
have.
कोई कोई बात नहीं, हम हमेशा पॉलिटेक्निक से हमारा अलग से लगाव है, क्योंकि हमने जो है बच्चों को तो ये पता भी नहीं होगा, हमने तो प्री पॉलिटेक्निक किया है. वी स्टार्टेड अवर पॉलिटेक्निक जर्नी फ्रॉम 9th onward. So our batch was the last batch. I have studied that pre-polytechnic part 1, which were equivalent to 9th. Then pre-polytechnic part 2, which were equivalent to 10th. Then I have done the diploma, which was also 3.5 years, computer engineering diploma. So that's why I have special love toward the polytechnic student. So if you anytime you have any questions, you want to know regarding your careers, academics, or whatever, so I will be available. So I will be love to answer your question and guide you wherever I can. Thank you everyone.
Just 1 minute.
हाँ जी पंकज जी।
So that will stop the recording, sir.
हाँ जी।